Pre-Phil Kagan. Number 10, Durmfield Ron. Number 8, Polius Joel. Number 9, Alcy Linsel. Number 4, Dennis Yendel. Number 5, Lisport Scaffin. And number 13, Shepard Larry. The coach is Mr. John Fitz, and the assistant coach is Mr. Damon Raphael. And now, the team of St. Vincent and the Grenadines. Number 4, Mr. Milton Reynaldo. Number 5, Mr. Glasgow Dario. Number 6, Lemping Kirsten. Number 7, Lawrence Philip. Number 8, Baptista Sean. Number 9, Smart Akim. Number 10, Lewis Nicholas. Number 11, Gardner John. Number 12, Bramble Opening. Number 13, Telesford Chrisford. Number 14, Fall Alex. And number 15, Otley Damien. The coaches, Scott Justin, the assistant coach number 1, Mr. William Swing, and the assistant coach number 2, Mr. Williams Osari. Ladies and gentlemen, please stand up for the national anthems. We start with the anthem of St. Lucia. Remain standing for the national anthem of St. Vincent and the Grenadines. The referees for this game are the crew chief, Mr. Jose Gomez from Panama, umpire 1, Mr. Gilbert Edward Buckner from the U.S. Virgin Islands, umpired to Miss Shandera Gardner from the Bahamas. And the commissioner for this game is Mr. Frederick Brown, also from the Bahamas.
You're going to buy me a drink again. Messed up on my Expect no less. Expect no less.
Right now, there's no meeting. Right
Yes! Yes!
now, right now, put it here. There's no meeting.
Yes, it all depends what will happen today. Yes! I'm not hearing.
It's tight.
Husband owned me a drink, you owe me a drink too. So you got two things for both of you. He told me Mrs. last night.
Good afternoon, basketball fans. I'm Keone Wright, and I'm joined here by Dion Brunings. It's day 4, game 1 action at the 2021 FIBA AmeriCup Prequalifiers. This one will be the Battle of the Saints, St. Lucia versus St. Vincent and the Grenadines. Dion, it promises to be nothing but biblical here today, as one of these teams will win and secure their first win of the tournament. Let's talk about St. Lucia. Day 1, they didn't look like themselves. They lost to Suriname. Yesterday, they lost to Grenada. It was a heartbreaker. I think St. Lucia played a better brand of basketball than Grenada, but Grenada got off to a great start in the second half and pulled away. Now let's talk about St. Vincent. Last night, an overtime thriller against Suriname. They fell short there. The night before, about 24 hours before, they lost a 3-overtime game to Guyana, an absolute heartbreaker. I don't know if this St. Vincent team has gotten any sleep, but boy, do they have weapons, Dion.
Yeah, they have a lot of weapons. Two of them were in action right there. It was Lawrence, Sean Baptiste shooting a three-pointer very well. Telesford scoring 29 points yesterday. So a lot of weapons to look out for St. Vincent. They lost 2 overtime games, one against Guyana and last night against Suriname. So they have a lot of minutes in those legs. So let's see how they rested.
They're very well experienced, a lot of experience overseas. You know, when those legs get tired and you're an older player, that's when you start to go to your head a little bit more. You have to be a little bit more cerebral. And I think the players in the St. Vincent team, their experience is going to see them through this one. My players to watch for St. Vincent are number 13, Telesford, number 7, Lawrence. Glasgow, their point guard, number 5, who's not out right now. He comes off the bench. He's also very active. Also watch out for Baptiste. He's tricky. On the other side of the ball for St. Lucia, tonight it's all about Yandel Dennis, their point guard. They also need to try to get their big people involved in Calderon and Paul. But expect big things out of Dennis. He's very well composed, and he will challenge this St. Vincent team for sure.
And they play a big man's basketball game. They have Calderon and Paul, two of the bigger centers in this game, in this tournament, alongside with Baptiste, number 8. So it's a big team, as they start with 3 other big men. One of them is Polius.
That's a tough angle there. Tried to go over the top. The timing was right. It's going to be real interesting here to see Lawrence, number 7, and number 11, Gardner, try to play post defense here against the big people of St. Lucia. St. Lucia plays that traditional style of basketball. Let's bang it down low. You won't see their big people leave the post. It's still okay to do that, even in the modern game.
And they have a good point guard, so he sets the offense up pretty well.
Early on here, it's all about angles. Here's Polius for 3. Lines one up. That's a pretty shot. And Polius proved to us yesterday he can hit that.
He plays a lot of inside basketball as well, but now they have Paul and Calderon on the court, so Polius will play something like a small forward role.
He's just a scrappy player. He's like your Dennis Rodman. He's going to go after it every time. 5 on the shot clock. Lawrence inside. Up and under move is good. Wow. He's so good at that. Don't get him started.
Lawrence got himself in foul trouble yesterday. That was a good thing for Suriname.
Yes, it was.
But picking up the pace today as he got another rebound. Rebound by Lawrence.
And Lawrence is a guy that can take it all the way. And he might just do that here. Nice little Euro step move. Can't finish. Gardner battling for it. Into the hands of Paul. St. Lucia. Lewison knocks that one down. So St. Lucia setting the tone behind the three-point line.
The exact same spot where Polius scored his three-pointer. And it's Lewison who hits a three-pointer of his own. It's 6-2 for St. Lucia.
Gardner skip pass over to Baptiste. He thought Baptiste was 7'2". And speaking of 7'2", St. Vincent has a player on their bench, Hakeem Smart, who happens to be 7'2". Not much of a factor in last night's game. I think he can really be a factor in this one, though. I think last night's game was a little bit too up and down for him, but against the traditional St. Lucia team, I think he can do some damage, if not on offense, on defense. Nice move there by Calderon. Baby hook is good.
Jean-Baptiste plays it in. Back out to Millington. Lawrence, his double team. Caught in trouble, it's a steal.
That's great defense.
And Paulus couldn't execute, but gets the loose ball. Eventually fell to Millington. Jean-Baptiste, watch out for this shooter. 4-3, misses. Rebound is Lawrence's.
Lawrence is so active. No look pass to Baptiste. In rhythm, and he will go to the free throw line. This was the problem last night for Suriname. You got to put a body on these people because they're very active. St. Vincent patrols that glass with reckless abandon.
As Jean-Baptiste goes to the free throw line. Pretty good free throw shooter. Hits the first one.
Yeah, not a guy you want to send to the free throw line. This is that one. Telesford up high, can't finish. You might need to get a little bit more warmed up. Playing on tired legs. Here's Lewison, wants to go one-on-one baseline. Gives it back outside.
Back out to Polius, and that's a foul on Polius.
I think this is what St. Lucia needs to do. Vary their attack. Know your role. Polius hit a three-pointer. They come out to get him. He decides to go right around his defender and draws the foul. I like what they're doing so far. And everything they do comes behind that man right there, number 4, Dennis. Gets it over to Lewison, over to Polius. They're looking to go inside. Gets good position. That's Calderon. Can't hit.
But a good look by Calderon, good position. That's
Watch out for this, man.
Ball.
Yeah.
Baptiste misses his second three-pointer. Rebound by Telesford. It's way short. And Dennis goes up. Pushes it all the way. Nice reverse layup. But it's no good.
Dennis is still out of bounds right now. Got hit in the face, wanted a foul.
Oh, what a block by Polius, but that's going to be goaltending. Correct call?
That is a 50-50 call there by the official. I think that's why she had to think about it, but she errs on the side of that being goaltending. Polius just a little bit late. Polius has so much energy to his game, even on the offensive end. I think if he just takes a little bit more time and gets his timing down, he will be a spectacular player. Into the game now is 7'2" Akeem Smart. He plays his professional basketball in El Salvador. He'll be matched up against Calderon.
And it's going to be a big man basketball game for both of the Saints.
Yeah, I'm not even watching the ball right now. I'm just watching those two, and they are battling, pushing each other. Lots of forearm action. Here we go. Smart almost got the steal. Calderon does well to reel it in. He's going to try to work on Smart. 24-second shot clock violation.
It took a while before they got the ball to Calderon. And when he eventually got the ball and tried to make his move, the shot clock was up.
Yeah, I think everyone was just like us on that play. Everyone was focused on what those two players were doing.
Exactly.
And didn't realize what was going on. You've got to have better awareness than that, and that starts with your point guard. Shot clock is winding down. He's got to know what's going on. What do you think of this one so far, Dion?
Yeah, pretty good, pretty good. This is what I expected. There's not a lot. It's not a lot in this game. I'm surprised that St. Lucia is in front. They started off pretty big. Normally they start with neither Calderon or Paul in the game. They started off with both of them today, with Polius playing on the tree. So they have a plan. They want to play a big game against an extra big game against St. Vincent. Of course, St. Vincent trying to find their rhythm after 2 overtime games. Let's see what St. Vincent's going to do after this timeout.
I think if you're St. Vincent, you've got to establish your offense a little bit better. And actually, they're not doing too bad on offense. They're really not. I think the big key for them is to hit the open shots.
Exactly.
You know, some teams are not at that level yet where even if they're open, it doesn't mean it's going to go in. But the players and the personnel that St. Vincent has, these are players that should be able to hit open shots. And they should hold themselves to that standard.
One of them is Sean Baptiste, who missed 2 shots, but eventually he's going to get 1 or 2 to go. As Akeem Smart makes that.
And that's what I'm talking about right there. Second chance opportunities, try to knock it down. Nice move there by Smart. We didn't see him do anything on offense last night.
Lewison's shot is too long as Lawrence pushes it up court. And that one is good. Be a chance for a 3-point play. Calderon fouled Lawrence, and Lawrence going to the line.
Just like last night. This is what surprises me about this tournament so far with some of these teams. This is high-level international basketball, and you can't recognize that a guy like Lawrence needs to be picked up before he gets the ball. Somehow he gets the ball, nobody picks him up. Nobody picks him up until he's already driving and making that Euro step move. You've got to make in-game adjustments. And as a player at this level, you've got to recognize that.
Lawrence scored 26 points yesterday.
Yeah, he will do that all night long. He and Telesford, they have the green light to bring the ball up. Checking in now is Alexis Foyle. Didn't start tonight, but you got to watch him too. He'll throw it up there, and he'll make them. He's also a tough, older, gritty player. He's got that old man strength that we talked about before.
And a lot of experience, of course. Telesford pushing it up. That one's good.
Yeah, St. Lucia right now, you got to, against the St. Vincent team, you got to run your offense and you got to get back on defense. Paul almost loses it, gets it into the corner. That's Preval, and he knocks it down.
3-pointer for Preval.
The perimeter jump shooting right now, keeping St. Lucia in this game. And they've got the lead. Baptiste, he's tricky, throws the up fake. They go to Smart. Gonna try to work inside, spins. somehow keeps his pivot foot.
Pretty ball by Lawrence. Nice pass by Akeem Smart to find Lawrence, and Lawrence knocks it down.
Lawrence just doesn't have an off switch right now. They try to go inside to Paul, and I'll tell you what, they got bailed out by Smart because that was a bad pass from a bad angle. Foyle comes into the game. Glasgow also. Glasgow is quick as lightning.
Yeah.
St. Vincent doesn't really lose anything when they go to their bench, and that's a mark of a good team.
And it's a good thing because they play 2 overtime games, one of them a double overtime. So you're gonna need a strong bench. Give all the players some rest. Dennis from downtown, no good. Offensive rebound, falls to Paul. Drummerfield, fakes. In trouble, long 2-pointer by Paul. And eventually rebound by Telesford.
St. Lucia needs to go back to running their offense. Right now, they're just trying to force everything. It's not pretty. There's Foyle. He'll do that to you.
You called it. He delivered.
Yeah, he will always deliver too, especially against these young players. He's got a lot of tricks up his sleeve. It's kind of like when your uncle wants to play one-on-one with you in the driveway just before Thanksgiving dinner. You say, oh, I can beat him.
Yeah,
he's an old man.
He doesn't look the part.
But then he beats you by about 50. That guy's probably been in 1,000 basketball games.
Been doing this for a long time, knows exactly what to do, is all open.
And you see that? He knows exactly where to go. He's in the minds of the St. Lucia defense. He knows what they're concentrated on, and he just finds an open spot. That's Dennis. They need to get him going here. They severely need him to get going.
Dennis going to the free throw line for the first time today. Okay, free throw shooter. Hits the first. And Dennis is off the mark. First point of the game. Very important player for this big team of St. Lucia. Do you think St. Lucia plays the biggest basketball of this tournament, if you know what I mean?
Yeah, I think so too. I do. I do think they play the biggest brand of basketball. They're not afraid to just have post plays. Watch out for Polius, and he loses it. That was blocked by the ghost of Dikembe Mutombo from behind. Maybe a little too selfish.
He was all ready to dunk that ball.
Like I said, if he just tones it down a little bit, he will be so impactful. But there's Foyle.
Uncle Foyle.
Textbook stuff for him. He's just calm and composed. This is like a Sunday stroll through the park right now. He's not going to get into it right now as far as losing his composure. There's a great outlet pass. Watch out for Lawrence. Cleared for takeoff. Throws it down with 2 hands and hangs.
8 points for Lawrence, leading all scorers today. And St. Vincent taking a 4-point lead. Dennis was looking for Polius as Drummerfield got hit in the head. But he's going to survive that.
So right now, here we're seeing how a 7'2" player in the post can affect the game. Nobody really wants to drive right now. A lot of people are standing around. Just his presence, I'm not saying he's really doing anything special, but just his presence is certainly taking Paul out of his game. He's really just clogging up the middle.
Yeah, and it's pretty clogged up with Smart there, and also the players from St. Lucia are pretty big.
Yeah.
So there's not a lot of room to drive into the paint.
If I'm St. Lucia, I take a timeout here, and I talk about what we need to do, how we need to move the basketball.
Drummerfield 1 for 2. And Telesford. Glasgow. is fast. Off the glass. Nice ball by Glasgow.
Yeah, it's a great first step. He's not a great shooter, though. St. Lucia might want to give him a little bit more room, keep him from driving. Telesford out of control. Foyle comes up with it. They've got numbers, 3-on-1. Where's he going to go? Up to Smart. Smart gathers himself, can't finish. Foyle bails him out.
Cleans it all up. And Foyle has 6 points.
He's going to be the steady hand today for St. Vincent.
Yeah, making a lot of important plays already. Couple of assists, couple of open shots. And on that occasion, he cleaned up the mess that Akeem made. Important player for St. Vincent. One of the reasons why they're 7 points up at this point.
Yeah, he's definitely one step ahead. If you're a younger player watching this game, you might just be watching the shots that are going up. But take a look at where Foyle goes on the floor. And here he is with a steal again. Look at the patience. He already knows what he's going to do. Gives to Telesford for 2. Look at how he positions himself. He stays calm and composed.
If I'm looking at Foyle, you see the big difference between being fast and being early.
Yes, great point. That's a great point.
He just makes his move before everyone else does.
Yeah.
He's not as fast as Glasgow or the other younger guys, but he executes earlier. Earlier wins every time if it goes against speed.
He also likes to distribute. He played his college basketball at BYU Hawaii. So you know he's going to try to spread the aloha here in this game. He won't be afraid to pass, and he'll usually make the right passes. 24-second shot clock violation. I'm really surprised that St. Lucia has not taken a timeout here. 7 seconds left to play in the first quarter. St. Vincent 23, St. Lucia 14, Battle of the Saints.
Telesford pulls up.
And at the end of the first quarter, it's 23-14. Dion, what'd you think of that first quarter? I thought St. Vincent, probably on relatively tired legs, if not tired, then sore, started to catch their rhythm there as they went on, and their weapons just continue to move the ball and do what they need to do. I mean, the guys like Lawrence don't have an off switch. Guys like Telesford don't have an off switch. Foyle comes into the game, makes instant impact. It's simple stuff for them.
Yeah, it's been a tactical change by St. Vincent. They brought him Akeem Smart to clog up the paint. That is one of the things that made a difference. And Foyle they brought in. And they're actually playing on autopilot right now.
Yeah, that's a great point.
They're not thinking about how tired they are, or they're not thinking about yesterday or the day before yesterday. They're just playing on autopilot. They have some guys who, as you mentioned, don't have an off switch, but they brought in some experience. They made a tactical switch, and that's the reason why they're in front. And you made a good point. St. Lucia needed to take a timeout to talk that over. They didn't do that, and they're behind by 9 points right now.
Yeah, if you're a coach, you just can't rely on your players to suddenly make in-game adjustments. St. Vincent came out with a completely different lineup. Like you said, Smart came in. I really think at that point you want to call a timeout. The offense became very disjointed. They weren't really running anything. Guys were dribbling too much. There was no movement. And what's interesting is that Smart, who isn't the most intense player, has really gotten into the head of Paul just by being 7'2". You can see whenever Paul gets the ball, he wants to do something with it, like they're in some sort of epic duel down low. So there's a mental game going on here. And like you said, they're an autopilot. St. Vincent is an autopilot. They're not overthinking. They might not even be thinking. They're just doing and executing.
And the other thing, when Smart was in the game, St. Lucia had one big on the court.
Yes.
So they started with Calderon and Paul. But when Akeem Smart was in the game, they only had Paul in the game. So he had less things to do, as they start off with actually none of those two on the court right now.
They're going to go with some small ball here. I think this is wise, but this is an adjustment you could have made in a timeout about 5 minutes ago, where you bring faster players out onto the court that are a little bit more dynamic. Here's Polius, guarded by Foyle. Yeah, that's what you want to do. Nice job there by Preval. That's his sweet spot. Knocks down a three, 23-17.
And 6 points for Preval. Hits his second three-pointer of the game. And they go back to Lawrence. Baptiste trying to answer.
He will eventually hit at least one of those.
Missed three.
Dennis, where were you in the first quarter, brother? Good to see you. Welcome back. That's what he does. Such an explosive player.
Now the other is opposite number, Millington, doing almost the same job, driving to the hoop and scoring a 2-pointer.
Oh, I love what St. Lucia's doing right now. Come on, Polish, you got to finish that one. He's struggled. And guess who it is? It's Foyle, the steady hand of Foyle.
And Foyle has 8 points coming out of the bench. Gets a chance to make it 9 points. His first trip to the free throw line.
Paul checks back into the game for St. Lucia. I think that's unfortunately, Polius just needs to compose himself a little bit. Maybe some time on the bench will do him well. I think they need him in this game, but he really needs to focus and knock shots down. There's Dennis again. Long 3-pointer.
Starting off this second quarter pretty strong. 5 points in this quarter, 7 in the game.
That's the mark of a great player. Didn't have a great first quarter, struggled to find his rhythm, comes into the second quarter and says, no, I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna take over now. Lawrence continues to hit. He cannot do any wrong. Banks that one in.
10 points for Lawrence.
Dermerville looks inside to Paul. Gonna try to work on Otley. Nice little shot, doesn't fall. Back out to Dennis. Whip pass to Prevo, and we'll get a foul. And somebody here is working on a timeout. That's Lawrence. A technical. That's Lawrence. But I think Lawrence has a point. He was straight up and down. He didn't even jump there. Tellisford comes back into the game. Prevo misses the first free throw. 8:02 left to play. 30-22 is your score. St. Vincent with the lead. It's been back and forth. Prevo knocks down the second one. 30-23, 7-point lead. Foyle comes out of the game. He did a fantastic job.
Scoring 9 points coming off the bench. Let's see how St. Vincent's gonna pick it up without Foyle. Millington. Back to Baptiste. Back to Millington. A little 1-2 game there. Tellisford back to Millington. Everything is played outside.
Watch Lawrence in that corner.
You called it. He got it. He missed. Rebound by Tellisford, but is blocked by the backboard.
Great job by Tellisford to stay with it. That was a grown man's rebound. Reels it in with one hand. Unfortunately, he couldn't hold on. St. Lucia getting lucky. You got to box out. Paul. Can't connect.
St. Lucia struggling from the inside. Can't get any inside baskets as Lawrence plays it to Udderly. Udderly, nice cut inside. Tellisford.
That's pretty basketball there by Otley.
Nice bounce pass to find Tellisford. Tellisford couldn't get that one to go, but he'll get 2 trips to the free throw line. Tellisford scoring 6 points in this game.
I think anything they can get from Otley on the offensive end while he's out there right now is an added bonus for them.
Yeah, mostly in the game for his defensive presence.
Defense, rebounding, so it looks like he's got great composure. Did well to survey the floor, and of course, Tellisford with the great cut.
Tellisford makes 1 and 2. 7 points at the night for Tellisford. Hook shot, it's no good. Rebound, Udderly. Plays it off to Lawrence. It's a 3 against 2. Baptiste all open.
Oh, and he just can't get those to fall right now, but good shooters keep shooting. It was a nice option. He picks it up. Here comes Telesford. Nice
And
try
it's
there by
fouled.
Prevost.
Fouled by Prevost. Telesford getting a chance to make it a double-digit lead. 8-point lead thus far for St. Vincent.
Prevost almost timed that correctly, but good job to get back, and he did foul him and forces him to go to the free throw line and earn it.
Lesporus checks in for St. Lucia. Telesford forced free throw is good.
Still no answer for Lawrence and Teleford.
And that is that double-digit lead. As Gardner is going to check in.
Gardner checks in, and that's exactly what we talked about. He takes out Otley. Otley's job is to come in and give some of these bigs a little bit of a rest. Just maintain the tempo, maintain the offense. I think he did a fantastic job. Didn't put up any crazy numbers. I don't think he scored, but a great floor game.
Just a decent job.
Yeah, you just have to maintain the tempo of the team, and he did that.
Dennis saw a little bit of a lane. A nice floater is missed. Ball falls to Paul. Dennis all open for three. Is it a good one? It was. No shot clock violation, but no points as well, as Millington mishandled that one. And Dennis.
There comes Dennis. He's got a challenge. Tries that Euro step move. Nice defense there by Lawrence. Played that correctly. That's what I'm talking about, in-game adjustments. Lawrence knows Dennis's game now. That one's short. Paul wants to go long to Calderon. Big to big. Touchdown pass. But it goes out of bounds.
Last touch Millington. So it's going to be a St. Lucia ball.
Let's go back to the attempted layup and the attempted fast break there by Dennis. Lawrence has seen enough of Dennis over the past quarter to know that he likes to do that little Euro step move and flip it up with the right hand. He made the adjustment. That's what we're talking about. That's what great players do, offensively and defensively. Ooh, nice hook shot.
Checks in.
And they need a little bit more of that.
Yes, actually, it's his first point for John Paul. As Baptiste takes his time to set things up. Lawrence back to Baptiste. Telesford. Baptiste gets it inside. Gardner for two. No good.
St. Lucia doing a much better job on the defensive rebounds this time. I don't know if they're finding bodies or the ball's just falling to them, but they're doing a better job. It's one shot and done.
Lawrence Ricks. Gardner got caught by Calderon.
That was a good double team. St. Lucia working real hard now on defense. Lawrence.
And Lampkin.
He's gone cold a little bit. There's Lawrence inside to Gardner. Sweet little pass. Can't connect. St. Vincent all over the glass. They get it out again. Fourth opportunity. No good.
And there they come. Dennis with a rebound. Trying to set up the offense. Plays a pretty pass inside to Calderon. And that's 2 points for St. Lucia.
Sweet shovel pass there. If St. Lucia can get a stop here and another basket, I'm going to call it and say the momentum has shifted. Strong take, may have forced it, gone in against four other players. Akeem Smart checks in. They're looking to clog up that middle, make things more difficult.
Bring the size back in. Paul just scored. Calderon also scored.
The issue with Calderon and Paul right now is their passing ability. They're not great passers. Lots of activity down low between Lawrence and Paul. Lawrence does well to front Paul.
It's an outside shot. No good. Rebound. It's Lawrence. and Leportis getting caught up.
Nice job there by Leportis to get inside. Not exactly the biggest guy. Forces the jump ball. Unfortunately, it won't be St. Lucia ball right now.
3 minutes and 53 seconds to go in this first half. As Baptiste gets it back. Baptiste has been called.
Right now, Smart and Lawrence, nice shot there by Baptiste. But there's some miscommunication, I think, on the offense right now. Smart and Lawrence are just way too close to each other up near the high post. Have Smart get in by the basket. Run a little high-low. Calderon working on Smart. He says 7-2 what? And if you're Smart, that's a pride thing right there. Nice job by Calderon. He needs to get going.
Telesford. Akeem trying to return the favor. Passes it out to Lawrence. Pretty jumper by Lawrence. That's point number 12 for Philip Lawrence Rick.
Up off the bench now is Foyle. He'll check in. I kind of feel like they need his abilities right now. They need his sure hand.
Yeah, it kind of feels like St. Lucia is coming closer as they make that big three-pointer.
That is a huge shot. And I think Foyle's coming in at just the right time. 5-point lead now for St. Vincent. It was double digits. Now it's down to 5. Here's Smart. A little bit awkward down low. Can't hit. Needs more arc on that hook, and it's good. He's a little bit short-handed.
Dennis. For 3. No good. Rebound Baptiste.
Dennis trying to catch fire. He's done well in this quarter, but they really will need him in this game. Like to see him go back to going to the basket. Lawrence with the step back. That's no good. And I noticed this last night against Suriname. Sometimes with St. Vincent, they really go away from their offense, and it becomes a one-on-one show, especially when you have so many players that are hot. I mean, Telesford's hot. Lawrence is hot. It's so tempting just to shoot it every single time.
Dennis to Polius. Polius putting some moves on Lawrence. Played back to Dennis.
And that was a nice back screen there by Porris, however we're saying it today. They couldn't find him. Watch out. That shot was affected.
And Dennis, who stayed back, got that one to go. Is going to get a chance for a three-point opportunity to cut the lead back to 4.
I'll tell you what, that play right there starts with number 6, Augustine, for St. Lucia. He is not a very big guy, but he got up to affect the shot on the other end. That allowed Dennis to break away. Into the game now for St. Lucia is Shepard.
And it's Lewison who goes out, scored 2 3-pointers, has 6 points in the game. Dennis playing a pretty good second quarter, 9 points in the game. And does make it a 4-point match.
St. Vincent wants a timeout. So we have a team that has gone back to playing their offense and running their offense in St. Lucia. We have a team that has gone away from their offense in St. Vincent. And you see what happens. Which team has more talented players? I would say St. Vincent. But it doesn't matter. You can't play individual basketball.
Yeah, on paper they have more talented players, but yeah, basketball isn't played on paper, it's played on the court. And right now, St. Lucia going back to their bigs. One of them is Calderon, doing a pretty good job. As we look at the highlights of that first half. As Dennis plays it in for Calderon. Calderon has 6 points in the game.
And see, that's what I think they need to do. And if you get the ball, if you catch the ball in the post and you don't have anything, and if they come over to double you, kick it back out to somebody like Dennis and free each other up. So it doesn't have to be like a one-and-done situation where you pass the ball inside and you keep it and you got to shoot it. Make decisive decisions. That's the next level for St. Lucia. Make decisive decisions and make them quickly. Understand when you get the ball, what the situation is.
Play inside out instead of outside in. basically, right?
Exactly, inside out. And also, I think for Calderon and Paul, both when they get the ball in the post, it's like they need 2 seconds to figure out what's going on. You should already know what's going on before you catch that ball.
Telesford looked at Foyle, passed up, played it back to Baptiste, and the ball in the hands of Lawrence, who plays a wild pass.
And I'm going to guess here, Dion, that is not what they drew up in the timeout. Not even the play. I'm going to guess that's not what they talked about doing. But, you know, that's one of the things. That's one of the things we talked about. When you have a team full of experienced players, it can be a struggle for a coach sometimes because players on the court who have all this experience overseas and have been playing for 20 years maybe think they know a little bit better. Nice pass inside to Calderon.
Big block by Foyle. But that second chance, Calderon staying calm as water and scoring the second ball. No problem if he got blocked. Just do it the second time round.
If Calderon starts to believe in himself just a little bit more, he can really affect this game. 40 seconds left to play. Here's Dennis. He looks up.
And passes it to the wrong jersey.
Yeah, unfortunately. Try to get it to Dermerville. Foyle with it. They need something from him. Smart comes up to set a screen. Oh, great Euro step move there by Telesford.
Telesford has 11. Drummondville. Shot clock is off. 9 seconds on the game clock. Drummondville.
He's got to pass. I would have liked to have seen them hit Dennis here. Instead, he's going to throw it up. Can't put it in. Not a well-executed last-second play there. Everyone knew what was going on. The defense just had to sit back and watch. They knew he was going to shoot it. At the end of the first half, the score is 39-37. Dion, who you picking here?
I have no clue. It's hard to say this, but I don't really trust St. Vincent with the lead. I saw them lose it.
Don't say it too loud because they're right next to you.
Yeah, exactly.
Those are some big dudes. I got your back, though. Don't
we'll
worry.
manage.
Yeah, we'll be okay.
And I'm a fast runner.
Yeah. No, we got that Sardamese heart. We're good.
So I don't really trust them with the lead, but I do have faith in the players. I do have faith in their talent. They have a lot of experience in foil. So talent-wise, they could figure this out. But yeah, what they've shown me thus far is that they've lost 2 matches in overtime where they got the big chance to win it. On the other hand, St. Lucia doing a pretty good job staying with these guys. So it's a hard match to call, but I'm going to put my money, that being said, on St. Vincent.
I'm going to disagree with you. I'm going to go with St. Lucia, and here's why. Day 1, they were trying to find themselves. Day 2, yesterday, they played fantastic basketball but fell short to a younger team with more energy. Here, I think they continue to evolve. They're not playing great basketball, but I think they're going to come out of halftime. They're going to throw a little bit of oil in the tank, lube things up, and get ready to go, and get back to a more smooth, more crisp game plan. And I think, you know, they have evolved. They continue to evolve in this tournament. St. Vincent, for me, is the same team that started 2 days ago. They're the same team that played last night. I'm not seeing a lot of evolution from them.
If St. Vincent can keep up tactically with, if St. Lucia can keep up tactically with St. Vincent, then you may be right. But in some of the occasions, St. Vincent switched it up, and they got caught on a big run. So it's gonna be an exciting second half.
All right, we'll be back. We'll be back with the second half after this.
finish your serve, guys. Okay? Let's go.
Keone Wright and Dion Brunings back here live in Paramaribo, Suriname to start the second half between St. Lucia and St. Vincent and the Grenadines. Right now, St. Vincent with a 2-point lead. Battle of the Saints. This thing has lived up to all the hype. We'll see if they can have a biblical ending to this one. Here's Dennis with it. Guarded by Millington, who will start the second half. Dennis rounds the corner, taps it off the glass. That's no good. Calderon tries to get it. Instead, Lawrence finds it. Interesting move here, starting Millington. I think they need an injection of pace. I think he's a little bit more prone to pass that ball and move it around quickly. Baptiste a little sluggish. Watch out! Backdoor cut there by Telesford, and that was a beautiful play. I think they tried to run that there late in the first half.
Exactly. I think it was Lawrence who gave that pass. This time they could execute that one, and then St. Vincent starting off pretty well as Dennis brings up the ball.
And with some movement away from the ball, they can really start to outsmart this St. Lucia team because they're not very aware defensively. Really challenge them. Paul, nice little pass to Calderon. Can't finish.
And that's a foul on Louison. Tough call. It ain't on Louison, it's on Lawrence. Number 7 with his second foul. Got into foul trouble yesterday. Doing a pretty good job on that.
That is a bad pass. You got to lob that in. If you're gonna do that, it can't be a line drive pass when a guy is fronted. And that's what we talked about earlier. Calderon and Paul really struggle to pass the ball. Neither is a great passer. If they were, they could be really effective in the high-low game. So I like what they're trying to do. Once again, Dion, they try to go back door, but we will get a foul away from the ball.
And that's another foul on Lawrence. 2 quick fouls on Lawrence. Of course, he's going to go to the bench. Has 3 in the game. Foyle comes in.
Foyle 9 points off the bench in the first half. Did a really nice job. Lawrence continues to be in foul trouble in this tournament. Fouled out last night at a crucial moment.
Helped Suriname a lot.
Oh, it certainly did.
And inside to Calderon. Gardner poked that one out, but falls to Dennis with 4 seconds on the shot clock. Dennis needs to pull up. Place it to Calderon. Bad job by St. Lucia on the offensive end. Telesford. Short pass to Gardner.
And I'm glad Gardner was the recipient of that pass. He deserved to be rewarded for the defense he just played. He is playing fantastic post defense down there on Calderon, trying to muscle up on him. Calderon's big, but I don't think he's as big as Gardner. Maybe taller, but not as wide.
First one is short. Gardner is yet to score in this match.
Yeah, I think he's really in there for his defensive intensity and his rebounding. Again, one of those guys where if you get offense from him, it's just an added bonus for you.
But his main job is to get into the head of Calderon and Paul.
And I think he's doing that a little bit. Calderon catches it outside of his comfort zone. See, he's trying to force it. That's not his game.
Played into Paul. A lot of passes has been thrown up high.
It's bad angles. It's not good fundamentals. All you need to do is take a moment, take a couple dribbles, and reestablish yourself. Bounce that inside.
8 seconds on the shot clock. Still a lot of time for St. Lucia to get a decent look at it.
And by no means is St. Lucia out of this thing. I'm merely pointing out some things that they can do to be more effective. And if they do those things, they can probably take a lead.
It's a catch and shoot. Way off. Rebound by Foyle. It's going to be Millington. Jean-Baptiste in the behind the arc. Baptiste. Millington gets it back.
I love the ball movement right now. It's creating openings. Tellister strong to the hole, and that will be a foul on Gardner. I heard that one from here.
Yeah, big slap on the hand. It was on the hand of Calderon.
That will get Akeem Smart up off the bench. He will replace Gardner.
The big fellow's back in. Gardner has 3 fouls.
And I guarantee at halftime, St. Lucia talked about what to do when Smart comes into the game. Will they attack? Will they vary their attack? Will they drive to the basket?
Let's see what they got planned up. What they got drawn up for them. Let's see what their plan is.
High screen by Polius. Dennis uses it. Not the greatest screen ever. They give it to Paul. They're looking inside. Calderon is down on the floor, holding his left arm. He's still down on the floor. I didn't see what happened.
I don't even know what a call is.
I didn't think they called it. I don't think they called a foul. Calderon was just laying there. Maybe they thought he was seriously injured, so they stopped.
He is subbed out.
He's shaking his left arm almost like maybe it's a funny bone issue. I don't know what caused him to go to the floor, though.
This is non-shooting. Arm holding his left hand. Left arm, the elbow area. And it's 10 seconds on the shot clock.
I think that's a big loss right now for St. Lucia. Hopefully Calderon can come back in. He needs to try to establish some rhythm here in this quarter.
It'll be Polius who will be posting up as Paul is working on Smart. Smart swap that one. Whew.
Blocked out of bounds by Smart. That's what he's in there for. And what he did so great there, and this is what all great shot blockers do, they block the ball either off the player that they just blocked the shot of and out of bounds, or they keep it in bounds. So a good job there, not just to block the shot, but to cause the turnover. Now it's St. Vincent ball.
Tellisford. Smart asking for the ball. Jean-Baptiste.
I love the adjustment of having Millington in the game. If you watch him, he's a lot more active. He wants to swing the ball. Baptiste, good player, but he liked to hold it a lot. That will be short.
Much more of a playmaker is Millington.
Good defensive stand there by St. Lucia. They're back the other way. Shovel pass to Polius, and he finishes. And that's exactly what he needs to do. Compose himself and finish. Great athletic move and a great pass from Dennis.
Baptiste.
Millington tries to thread the needle. Somehow gets it to Foyle. He's been quiet. Over to Baptiste.
Tellisford's going to pull up. No good. Foyle with
Foyle
a
up
big
strong.
rebound. Ooh.
That's a grown man.
Uncle Foyle taking the rebound.
Uncle Foyle. St. Vincent ball. Only a 3-point lead right now for St. Vincent. But they're looking a lot more crisp. They're running an offense. That's what you need to do. They haven't gone back to the one-on-one stuff. Tellisford aggressive. Lost it, but he's fouled. As you swing the ball around against the zone, gaps start to open up. Tellisford did a great job there. He said, okay, we've passed it around. He started to see gaps, caught the ball, and went for it. That's what you have to do. Dribbling and holding the ball will do you no good.
.14 seconds on the shot clock. Baptiste plays it back to Millington. Tellisford.
That's pretty basketball. Tellisford can't hit.
And Polius off his foot or off his knee. Back in the hands, in the safe hands of Dennis.
The very safe hands.
As for a screen, Paul rolled, but a pass is a bit off.
See, right there, Dennis gets the ball. He tells his team, okay, let's run this play. But then he doesn't run it. He thought something was there that wasn't. A couple more passes, things would have opened up for them, I think. Foyle out to Baptiste. They're going to run a two-man game here. Foyle's going to back down Polius. That's swatted out of there by Paul.
Picked up by Baptiste. Paul out of nowhere came up to block Foyle, but Baptiste picking up the change.
Dennis baseline. Tries to get it to Paul. He's not ready for it. Polius is there. Oh, boy.
Nice
Polius.
shot by Polius.
Polius is night and day right now. Had some issues in the first half. Right now he's feeling it.
7 points for Polius.
4 of those coming here in the last 2 minutes. Telesford skip pass over to Baptiste. Thinks about it. Almost had his pocket picked. Tries to thread the needle. And St. Vincent gets away from the game plan there. Lucky not to cause a turnover. Yeah.
Yeah, true. Bring in some speed. Glasgow's in the game. Baptiste is going to take the inbound pass.
Again, Millington for St. Vincent, another player who didn't fill up the score sheet, but he did exactly what he needed to do to set the tone and the pace for this team. That's what a good point guard does.
Yeah, up the tempo of the offense. And into Smart, who dribbles.
Oh, boy.
Big boys move, got fouled, and is going to go to the free throw line. Akeem Smart.
Runaway dump truck.
Has yet to score, though. Good opportunity to get off the mark. Misses the first.
Sometimes I think about what my life would be like if I was 7'2".
I thought about that a lot as well. We'd probably be on the field right now.
Yeah, we'd probably be playing basketball. And I don't think I'd be able to hear people as well. I wonder if that's an issue. If like people have to yell up to you. Which might be a blessing, actually. Oh, pretty move there by Paul. Will they count it? Oh, offensive foul. You know, and he's gotten away with that in this game so far. And he finally gets called for it.
Four-point game. Third quarter action. Here out of Paramaribo, Suriname. Game number 1 of day number 4. Battle of the Saints. Outside movement. Telesford with a floater. His floater is short.
Telesford having trouble here against his zone. He's just a little bit short. Dennis, pretty move, and he's fouled. And that's what Dennis needs to do here in the second half. Continue to be aggressive. Don't settle for shots. Don't force passes. Take the ball to the basket and push it when you can. He's got a very high basketball IQ. First free throw coming here for Yandel Dennis. Banks it home.
Off the glass. Esplan. What do I need to make of a free throw that goes off the glass? Is it in the mind of the free throw shooter to do that?
They'll tell you it is, but no, it's not. I don't think it is. Second one is good. Doesn't need glass that time. Nothing but net. St. Vincent clinging to a 2-point lead. The story for St. Vincent, everything but the shot here. Great ball movement. They're running their plays, but they got to hit buckets. They give it to Smart. Tries to go baseline. Nice defense there by St. Lucia. Foyle with it out to Baptiste. Thinks about it. 3 on the shot clock. Baptiste inside. Gets fouled.
With 1 second left on the shot clock, Baptiste makes the move. Smart play by Baptiste, finding other ways to get on the scoreboard. And Sean Baptiste is going to shoot 2 free throws. He has 5 points at the night. It's not even a night yet, eh?
Baptiste has such a start and stop game, likes to vary his speed at times, and that throws defenders off. You can't tell when he's going to take off. You can't tell when it's just a hesitation dribble. He'll go back, he'll go forward. He's deceptive with everything that he does. That was a heads-up play there.
Who do you think tires quicker, a shooter or an inside player?
I think it all depends on what you've been having to do in the game. So much so that, you know, we're always watching the ball. Fans are always watching the ball. But if you take a moment, if you take a few plays just to watch some of the extracurricular physical activity between the big players down low when they don't have the ball, it could go either way. I will say this, though. If you're a shooter, it's really tough to shoot on tired legs. And third day of a tournament, 3 games in 3 days, those are some tired legs. You got to dig a little bit deeper. Here comes St. Vincent. They need to capitalize here. Telesford's been quiet, drives to the lane, kicks out. Pretty shot.
Glasgow, baby.
Up and in for Glasgow. You can't leave them open.
5th point of the night for Glasgow. It's a 6-point lead for St. Vincent.
And that was all set up by Telesford.
Hello, Calderon's back.
Calderon's back. No one's laughing, though, after that funny bone injury. Oh, we get a backcourt violation.
Okay.
Foyle thought he was over, but he caught it on the wrong side of the line.
Caught me as well. I thought he was over.
Out of the game now is Baptiste. Solid floor game so far in this third quarter. Back into the game is Millington. Like we said, he really dictates the pace for the St. Vincent team.
A lot of speed in the game now for St. Vincent. A bit shorter are their guards. Both Glasgow and Millington on the court. I think it's the first time that they've featured together on the court.
Smart play there by Dermerville, making an adjustment on offense. Knew he was guarded by a smaller player, decided to post up. Here's Millington, likes to swing it fast, lots of ball fakes. Back to Telesford. Millington. Glasgow steps into it, back to Millington, and we'll get a foul. Nice job there. Good ball movement around the perimeter. Waiting for that high flasher, but the guards did well. Perimeter players did well. This will send Millington to the free throw line.
Lucia and the penalty. 2 free throws for Millington. Millington has 2 points. First trip to the free throw line. Hits the first. 3 points for Millington.
I'd like to see St. Vincent try to get out and run here. They have the speed on the floor to do it. They have the finishing ability with Telesford as well. I want to see them catch that defensive rebound. Somebody like Otley catch it, and then they're gone. 1 or 2 passes up the floor.
I think that's the plan with Glasgow and Millington in the game.
Nice
Nice steal by Glasgow, and they're running the floor.
Picked off. Transition opportunity. Nice patience by Millington. Wants to set things up. Really impressed with his maturity and ability to run the show here. Nothing too fancy. Let's just get it done. Telesford as well. He's calmed down. He's running the offense. There's Glasgow.
5 seconds on the shot clock. Telesford pulls up.
Nice shot. 53-47. Calderon down low, guarded by Otley. Telesford comes over to help. Otley, jump hook, can't get over the front rim. St. Vincent should be off and gone. Trying to thread the needle to Otley, that's picked off. Watch out for Poli, it's cleared for takeoff. He's blocked from behind. That is an excellent hustle play by Glasgow. 5'5", just got up on 6'5". Almost got away with a block. Great hustle play. In a close game like this, you cannot give up.
No easy baskets, man.
He very easily could have been on a poster, but thanks to his hustle, he won't be. Polius, though, not a bad free throw shooter.
No. Correct. Let's check him out.
Misses the first one. Baptiste will check back into the game. And if he doesn't come in for Millington or Glasgow, then we've got a very quick team on the floor here. Going to try to push the tempo with 1:32 left to play.
As Polius makes his second. 8 points for Polius.
Dion, I don't know about you, but in this quarter, nothing too crazy has stuck out in my mind about St. Lucia. No plays really stick out in my mind where I'm like, wow, you know, nothing just
Nothing
sticks
spectacular.
out. Yeah, nothing spectacular, but they're only down by 5 points.
But same can be said from St. Vincent point of view. Nothing spectacular coming out of St. Vincent as well. Just executing. They had some fast players on the court.
And a bad pass there by Raheem Augustine. He'll be replaced. Into the game, the active hands and the springs of Le Pori. And Andre Lewison comes in as well.
First action by Augustine.
No, he was in earlier in the game.
For real?
Yeah, he was in the first half, yeah. Ooh, that's a mistake there. That's okay, mistakes happen. But no, he had a couple rebounds and a block shot in the first half. Battled well.
What happened to the post play of St. Lucia?
Yeah, they've really gone away from that. And there were a few moments where the momentum got broken up. To start the half, they had trouble with their interior passing between the two bigs. And then Paul got called there on the very sweet move. He got called for the separation with the forearm. And those kind of things broke the momentum. I still think, you know, you have a couple mistakes or a mistake. It doesn't mean you need to go away from the game plan. Maybe you just need to rethink it. But again, St. Lucia needs to get back to making good passes into the post. Set up your post players. It's not just about forcing it in there. Put them in a position to succeed. Otherwise, we have a very close game here, and we're gearing up for what should be a hotly contested fourth quarter, as both of these teams are looking for their first win in this tournament. And the way these teams have played in this tournament so far, both deserve a win, that's for sure. But only one team can come out on top.
This is, of course, the pool where Suriname and Guyana also plays. Grenada, the fifth team in this pool. Suriname and Guyana still undefeated. They'll be facing off tonight at 9 o'clock local time as Telfort goes for three. Boom!
Daggers! Absolute daggers from Telfort. You got to hit those in a close game. Here comes Telfort. Things are opening up now for St. Vincent. Baptiste can't knock it down. That would have been big. 56-48.
23 seconds left in this third quarter. Calderon. Oh!
Blocked out of bounds.
Out of here.
Here, let me put that in the mailbox for you and send it away, says Smart.
Yeah, I could use a volleyball smasher like that.
Yeah. I mean, that dude's just an athlete. He probably doesn't even work out. Dermerville, long three-pointer, he can hit it.
7 seconds left.
Here comes Baptiste, 5 seconds left. It's a foot race. Smart, watch out!
Oh!
Smart can't believe it. He's going to blame the rim for that one.
Yeah, watch out for the rim. It sometimes blocks you.
Hey, but let's focus on a positive. That was a great fast break. Good job to run the floor by the big man. We will be back to start a hotly contested fourth quarter right after this. Keone Wright and Dion Brunings back here in Paramaribo, Suriname. Ready to start the fourth quarter of this Battle of the Saints. The score is 56-48. St. Vincent in control right now. A bit of a momentum shift here as both teams are kind of in neutral. A little bit of a back and forth. But at the end of the half there, Telesford hit a big three-pointer, and that got everybody into it. It'll be St. Vincent ball. We've got some moisture on the floor.
Very important quarter, very important start of the quarter for St. Lucia.
Both of these teams looking for their first win in this tournament. And I'll tell you what goes great with dinner? A win. And so far, neither team has been able to do that in this tournament. For St. Vincent, they have fought so hard. 4 overtimes in 2 days. Smart flashes, takes a power dribble, up and good. Nice patience there.
And nice comeback after that missed dunk.
Yeah, he missed the dunk. And that's what you do. And that's what I said about St. Vincent. When they make a mistake, they're so mature that they're not like a young team that they dwell on the mistake. Stuff happens. You move on. They're on to the next immediately.
And that's a double-digit lead for St. Vincent.
But the man inbounding right now will be the X factor for St. Lucia.
Matching their biggest lead of the day. So the biggest lead of the night, tying that in the fourth quarter. Important possession for St. Vincent, St. Lucia.
I'm all about team basketball, but I'm going to be real honest with you right now. This is where Dennis needs to just take over. He needs to be selfish. Nice rebound inside by Calderon, can't finish. I really think Dennis needs to take over. He was wide open on that play and nobody saw him.
Exactly.
Everything needs to run through him. He's got to push the tempo, leave it on the floor for 10 minutes, and get your first win of the tournament. Don't rely on other people. Telesford tracks it down, gives over to Baptiste. Inside to Smart.
With a hook shot.
No hesitation. Otley out of nowhere draws the foul. Like we said, that's what he's in for.
Nice cleanup by Otley.
Cleanup crew, junkyard dog.
But St. Lucia is not going to be happy about that play. Worked pretty hard. Got Smart to miss. But you need to get the rebound. Otley to the free throw line. 0 points in the game. That's his first.
Smart with the offensive board. Up fakes. And we'll get a travel. Smart is a raw specimen. And if he continues to work on his game, we could see him in the NBA in a couple years, that's for sure. But for now, a lot to work on. Dennis. Back to Dennis. And a bad pass. This is what I'm talking about. Like I said, I'm all about offense. I'm all about the team game. But Dennis had a nice rest in the third quarter. I think he's fresh. Put the foot on the gas, put the windows down, rip the rear view mirror off of the car, and just go. Go forward. Be in the moment, be in the present.
It's an 11-point game. St. Lucia needs to do something right now. That's why they took the timeout.
Definitely. I think what's interesting here is that Lawrence has not been in a while, but St. Vincent continues to do well. They're getting some players involved in the game, players like Millington, who didn't see a whole lot of action. We just saw Otley come in. So this is a good team game for them. Everybody, if they win this, everybody can enjoy this win. And that's really good because in the tight situations they've been in over the past couple of days, not everyone has been able to get a look. So we talk about evolution. We talk about not just evolution of execution, but we talk about evolution of individual confidence amongst your players. And as you head into the knockout rounds, hopefully with a win here for St. Vincent, that's what you want. You want everyone to be confident, and you want everyone to be enjoying this experience. At the end of the day, I made references to the game last night being a war. Of course, it's really not. It's still just a game. This is an opportunity for personal development, physical development. So at the end of the day, you do want everyone to enjoy themselves, and no better way than to get a team win.
As Millington sets up the offense, being guarded by Dennis. Plays to Telesford. Got a pick by Otterly. Sean Baptiste plays it inside to Akeem Smart. Lost the ball. Last touch by Calderon.
If Smart can just develop a baby hook, and it's not going to happen in this game, he's not going to suddenly develop that. But the dribble is what's the problem right now for him. That little power dribble. When you're 7'2", that ball travels about 6 feet down and then has to come back up.
It's a lot harder for he's a lot further from the ground. So the dribbles is a bit harder for him.
But he's playing a lot better than he did last night. He's getting position. He's a lot more aggressive. Bad pass there from Baptiste. Here comes Dennis. Nice job by Dennis. Gets the ball to roll in. And they need that for about the next 8 minutes and 15 seconds.
The lead is down to 9 points. St. Vincent setting it up. Millington. Nice ball by Millington. Gets the friendly roll. Millington has 6.
A solid backup point guard in Millington. Doesn't try to do too much. Nice
Hands
defense.
up by Smart.
Got to get that rebound. Got to box out. St. Lucia unlucky there. They're going to look to Hakeem Smart. Up to Otley. Smart ducks inside. I thought he was a little bit late. Puts the ball on the floor.
And is fouled. Trip to the free throw line for Hakeem Smart.
Talk about an X factor. Talk about an X factor that's 7'2". I like his confidence. Not everything is going well for him right now. But he's staying in the game. He's getting great position, actually. His ability to get position has improved greatly from last night. It's improved greatly throughout the game. Now it's on to the next phase, the mechanics of what to do when you catch the basketball. Here he's at the free throw line.
First one's good.
Shooter's touch for the big man. Takes a nice, deep, meditative breath in. Takes his time, no rush. Pretty shot. Hakeem Smart plays professionally in El Salvador. (63-50), 13-point lead right now.
Very tall mountain to climb for St. Lucia. But in the Caribbean, we have a lot of mountainous terrain, so they're used to it.
Yeah, they play tough. That's a great pass inside to Paul. That's the touch you want on. That's the touch you want on a post pass right there. That was great from Shepard. They need more of that. If it's not going to be Dennis, give it down low. Nice screen and roll. Otley with the fake. Pretty move. Smart out of nowhere. Can't finish. He'll go to the free throw line.
Smooth by Otley.
And you see what happens here with Smart. I don't know him personally, obviously, but in the first half and maybe in the game last night, doesn't develop a rhythm, doesn't seem very confident. Here late in the second half, you get him a lot of touches. The ball doesn't always go in the hole, but he hits a couple free throws, he stays active, and all of a sudden he's got confidence. All of a sudden he's a factor in the game. Grabs an offensive rebound there, does well to go straight back up, gets fouled. And honestly, that's all this team is going to do for them. To him, excuse me, is foul him.
And that's a team effort, because you can hear the coach yelling at the team, his teammates, to get the ball to him. So they're trying to get him involved, which is a good thing. You want your 7'2" player to be involved in the game. He's a good free throw shooter as well. Misses the second.
Here's Dennis. Goes baseline. I think he saw Smart and pulled it back out to Dennis. Drives inside on Smart. Nice little kick out to Polius. Gathers himself. Can't finish. And that's how Smart affects the game. Dennis had to think twice about going up with that. Otley up top. Looking for Telesford. Needs to take a dribble. Finds Smart with a nice pass. And Smart. The gates of heaven have opened. And out comes Smart.
I'm liking Otley though.
Yeah, very composed.
Yeah, very composed. Made a pretty move just a couple of possessions ago with a fake pass, and now finding Smart, who opened up. Good work by Otley on the offensive end as well.
What saved Otley there is that after he caught the ball, he didn't immediately put the ball on the floor. So when the double team came, he still had the option to dribble.
He saved this dribble.
Yes.
Dennis. Polius. No. Lawrence with the rebound. It's a 14-point game. Ball to Otley.
Runaway freight train for 2. And Otley tells Polius, you need to eat a few more potatoes, son.
It's a 16-point game. Trying to make it 17. And he does.
Nice execution here by St. Vincent. I'm really impressed with what I'm seeing. If they played this style of basketball their first 2 games, they're more than in those games. Not just in them, but they win. They definitely do. Great discipline here in the second half.
Drummerfield out to Dennis. Dennis plays it into Polius. Smart got a hand to it. Finds kindly to Calderon. No basket for Calderon. It's another good look by Calderon.
And what's even more interesting is that it's everybody else right now except Lawrence and Telesford. And that's a great sign for St. Vincent moving forward. Smart wants it. He's starting to call for it. He's starting to get vocal. What's he going to do next? Shoot a 3-pointer? Looks inside to Otley. Nice defense by Polius to get around that big body. I love what St. Vincent is doing right now. They're looking to run plays. They're looking to run an offense. No more of that one-on-one stuff. No more of that pride stuff. No more of that ego stuff. They get it to Lawrence. Out to Tellus for a little 2-man game. Ooh, and off of Lawrence's foot.
It's gonna be a sub. Bring their size back in. St. Lucia going big with Polius, Paul, and Calderon on the court. Dennis and Drummerfield are the other 2 of the 5 on the court right now. Paul played it to Calderon.
Manages to get it up over the block there of Smart. Smart got a piece of that one. Good high-low action.
The harder the shot, the better the execution by Calderon.
Otley's feeling it.
Woo!
Big Daddy, silky smooth. Here's Millington. Slipping and a sliding.
Big 17-point lead. At the home stretch here.
Dermerville hits the floor hard. We'll get a foul on Telesford.
Oh, the foul's on Drummerfield.
Oh, my bad. Okay, so
Yeah,
to add insult to injury,
exactly. It's a bit unexpected foul.
Akeem Smart comes out of the game. He really hit stride here in the second half. Really showed us some things.
7 points for Smart. Good game for Smart.
Way to rebound from last night. Make most of the minutes that you get. Lawrence will inbound. And we'll get 2 shots for Telesford, who's been quiet in the second half, but it's okay. St. Vincent hasn't needed him.
Exactly. It
Everyone
wasn't
else
even
is,
needed.
Yeah, everyone else has stepped up.
Misses the first one. 3 for 5 from the free throw line, 60%. So he takes his second.
Now let's remember here, just under 5 minutes left to play in the fourth quarter. Anything can happen right now. It's an 18-point lead. A couple three-pointers, a nice run here by St. Lucia, and anything can happen. So St. Vincent doesn't want to get complacent. Here's Dennis. That's what they need. Can't hit. Nice fight inside there by Polius and Calderon. And we'll get a jump ball.
And that'll be white ball?
It will be St. Lucia ball. So St. Lucia lives to fight another play. Nice job there by Calderon not to give up. There's Polius. He's open. Can't handle the pass. Dennis has it. Gives to Lewison. Long three-pointer. That's no good. Tapped out by Otley. He held Calderon with one hand and then tapped the ball outside. So that'll be a foul.
Is that going to be a shooting foul? Or are they going to shoot free throws?
No, they will not. It'll be out of bounds.
First foul on Otley. 18-point lead.
Paul comes into the game. He replaces Lewison. And if I'm St. Lucia right now, it's either Dennis going to the hoop or they just pound it inside. Pretty look there by Dermerville. Out of nowhere is Calderon, and St. Vincent just cannot secure the basketball right now. But literally, play a three-man game right now. Dennis, Paul, and Calderon. Drive, create openings, shovel passes. Dennis is creative enough. And Calderon and Paul, they've played decent tonight, or today, this afternoon. First free throw, no good. If St. Vincent's going to give you an opportunity to go to the free throw line, you got to knock him down. Coming up on 4 minutes left to play in the game.
Calderon 12 points, leading the St. Lucia team in scoring.
Short on that one.
Ball in the hands of Telsford, of course, played it off to Millington. Lawrence trying to get past Calderon. No room there.
Nice patience by Lawrence. Gives to Gardner, back to Lawrence. That's a pretty shot. No good, a little bit short. Shot mechanics a little bit different on that one for Lawrence. But again, he's been sitting a long time. And he's played 3 games in 3 days. Dermerville over to Polius. Got a good look at it. Can't knock it down. Calderon, no body on him. Tries to tip it.
It's the point guard, Dennis, who got the rebound and is fouled.
Good job by Dennis to remain active. 3:30 left to play. 18-point lead now for St. Vincent. The tone of the game has sort of waned here a little bit. St. Lucia needs to hit free throws if they want to get back into this thing. I don't think it's over yet, but it's close to it.
Yeah, it's gonna be it's gonna be an epic comeback. 3 minutes and 34 seconds left in this game, or in this quarter.
But if an epic comeback is going to happen, it's going to happen in this game, the Battle of the Saints.
And of course, St. Vincent is the overtime team, so
yeah. I think it'll. I don't know if they know what it feels like to play just four quarters of basketball.
Exactly.
Yeah. And then go home. Yeah. That's short. And again, if I'm Dennis, I'm just taking that ball and I'm driving to the hole every single time. This thing has got to turn into the Dennis show for St. Lucia.
Lawrence. Fadeaway jumper. Missed. Dennis plays it up court. Drummerfield was free, but was surrounded by Gardner and Foyle really, really quickly.
If they made that shot, I would have said that that play was a miracle. I don't know how either of those passes didn't get picked off. Great job there by St. Lucia. Everything but the bucket, though. And right now, they need points. They need baskets. There's no style points.
Lucia and a penalty. So we're getting 2 free throws from Gardner.
Gardner, an unsung hero right now for St. Vincent. Does a great job on defense. Things that you don't see. Like we said, so many of the fans, including ourselves, are watching where the ball is. But while the ball is up top, Gardner is battling down low, either defensively or offensively. Deserves a lot of credit.
2-2. Gardner has 3 points.
Coming up on 3 minutes left to play. Dermerville looking inside. High flash from Preville. John Baptiste back to Preville. Pretty play there. 74-56. Kellisford breaks the press. Dermerville doesn't agree with that call, but it will be St. Vincent ball.
Yeah, and it's a pretty good call as well. Last touch by Dermerville.
It was all ball. Good defense. Be satisfied with some good defense.
Foyle.
Here's Foyle.
Bit of a mismatch. Turnaround jumper. No good. Lawrence hustling for the ball. And John Baptiste brings it up. Drummerville. Back to Baptiste for 3. No rebound by Dennis, almost.
In this situation, St. Lucia has got to get the ball to Dennis. Baptiste all alone. Finishes on the left-hand side.
8 points for Baptiste.
Dennis loses it. And St. Vincent will empty out their bench to include Opong Bramble, who I understand lived and played here in Suriname for a couple years.
Yeah, he was coached by Bruce, our co-commentator. Both Gavin and Bruce know him pretty well. Played his basketball in Suriname, I think, for at least 2 years. Lives in the States right now. I believe he plays for the University of New York. So he'll know Suriname pretty well.
Yeah, he's right at home here. It was an interesting substitution last night. Bramble played about 1 minute, I want to say, in the third quarter. And then suddenly in the overtime, they put him in to start, which I thought was interesting. Didn't really get many looks, didn't see the ball a whole lot. But he will get some time here, 2:11 left to play.
20-point game.
And Dion, let's talk about the tournament a little bit. It is a jam-packed day full of just unbelievable games. Up next is Haiti versus Antigua. That's going to be fireworks. Then we've got, later tonight, we've got Suriname and Guyana, another personal matchup.
Yeah.
Guyana, the neighbors to the north for Suriname.
It's always a battle between Guyana. It's a pride thing, of course, but for both countries.
Smart flushes that one.
Ooh, watch out for our equipment, man.
Yeah, he almost took the whole rim, backboard, the whole setup down. He said that time, I'm not going to miss. I'm not going to miss this time.
Drummerfield thought about it. Dennis for 3. No kind rolls.
You know, again, a brave performance by Dennis, a good performance by St. Lucia. They're going to come up short here. It's one of those situations where they deserve to win.
Big block by Lewis. The shots are just not falling for St. Lucia. Mostly, they've done a pretty okay job inside. But just the shots, the 2-pointers, the jump shots aren't falling for them. And that's a big difference between the previous matches where they were falling. Dennis scored a couple. With this match, they're just ice cold.
I don't like to make excuses, but 3 games in 3 days. Not everything is going to be as great as you thought it was going to be, which is why it's so important that every game you play in this tournament, you have to come out and do your best. You can't hit autopilot if you don't have a good lead. You've got to come out and play 110% all the time. You got to be gunning for the win. St. Lucia had some great execution in this game in certain moments, but again, it comes down to how they end the game. St. Vincent made major adjustments in the second half. Well, whatever they talked about at halftime worked. And I think really what they talked about was running an offense. And we see how good they are and how disciplined they can be. There have been moments over their first 2 games where they were just a very disjointed, ill-disciplined team, arguing with their coach, arguing with themselves. Today, everybody closed their mouths, and they come out with a victory. Lots to build on there. For St. Lucia, still lots to build on as well. But it's just got to be a little bit more consistent. And there are some skills that they probably won't be able to evolve in this tournament. I think if Calderon and Paul can become better fundamental passers to each other in high-low situations, this team becomes very dangerous, very, very dangerous, as well as the perimeter players understanding how to pass into the post.
Because they're actually the team who maybe can play the biggest game with Paul and Calderon alongside with Polius, but we're not talking about Polius, but Polius is a big dude as well.
Yeah, he is, and very athletic. He's springy, and he can spread the floor. He can stretch it a little bit. He can shoot the three-pointer.
Not only the jump shots aren't falling for them, the free throws are a hard job for them to do as Drummerfield scores 1 and 2. Glasgow. Still Glasgow, and that's a foul.
I think Glasgow got fouled by his own player there, but that's... Number 6, Lampkin, really struggled to get his footing, and they almost ended up on top of each other.
If he got fouled on it by his own player, is that going to be free throws for St. Lucia?
I don't know what they do there. I think they just end the game. 55.5 up on the board. Those are angel numbers, and this is the Battle of the Saints. 78-57. St. Vincent with it. Here's Smart. He's played extremely well. Showed us what he can do. Here's Glasgow. Pace and energy. Pretty shot there by Lewis, who just checked in. He hasn't seen much action in this tournament. Looks to be a younger player.
Got a good block a couple of minutes ago and got a good look at a basket, but couldn't score. Good job by Preville. Preville's having an okay night as well. Preville has 11 points. Started off with those 2 3-pointers.
Yeah, it's a silent 11 points.
Yeah.
Did a good job there to avoid the shot blocker. Smart. Coming up on 20 seconds, 78-59. St. Vincent cruising to a victory here. Ditter's going to taste a little bit better tonight.
Bramble for 2.
Bramble got off his feet quick there. Coming up on 5 seconds. And that shot will count at the end of regulation. It's 80-62. Excuse me, 61. That wasn't a three-pointer. But like I said, dinner tonight for St. Vincent is going to taste a whole lot better, Dion. Any final thoughts?
No, they finally got a win. They deserved a win a couple of games ago. They played 2 overtime matches and finally got a win. St. Vincent will be happy with themselves. St. Lucia back to the drawing board. It's a win for St. Vincent. Good job, St. Vincent.
Big shout out to the St. Lucia fans for hanging tough with their team. They'll get you a win, I have a feeling. The tournament's not over. For St. Vincent, a really good team that just finally comes together. After 4 overtimes over the past 2 days, they managed to pull out a win in regulation. Dion, you'll be calling the next game. Do you have your seatbelt ready?
I have my seatbelts ready. It's going to be a bumpy ride between Antigua and Haiti. Maybe the 2 best teams of the tournament. So guys, it may be a preview for the final. It'll be a tough match. It'll be a fun match, so stay tuned. More basketball out of the Caribbean. Haiti against Antigua is the next match. For Dion Brunings and Keone Wright, we're signing off of this match. See you in the next one.